Hello, today is 1/18 of 26, and I am here with a video of what I eat in a day on my keto journey. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I changed my diet to a high protein, moderate fat, low carb diet in April of 2024. It is currently 12:15 a.m. Yes, it is just after midnight. I am making what we will be having for lunch today. I tend to stay up late. I usually go to bed between like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And so now is kind of when I have the time to make it. So I'm going to make it now. I am making a chili recipe that I have not tried before. Okay, so I'm making this in my Instant Pot. I have used the saute function to cook and crumble some 93% lean ground beef. So the recipe calls for 1 pound. I am using 2 pounds because I do prioritize protein. It says to cook it till it's most of the way cooked through. So I do see a little bit of pink in here, but that's okay. Also, it does not call for any seasoning to be added to this meat, but I believe in seasoning every layer. So I did add salt and pepper to this mixture to make sure that this meat would be seasoned. Okay, so now that I'm this far, I have got about half a green pepper that I chopped up and about a quarter of a large onion, red onion that I chopped up. I'm going to get these added along with a half cup of water. And then I'm just going to give this a stir. And I'm going to add my seasoning mix. So there's a lot of cumin in here. This calls for 3 tablespoons of cumin, which I really like cumin. But I hope it's not a mistake. It's kind of a little worrisome for me. Anyway, I added in this mixture, there is also a pinch of black pepper, a quarter teaspoon of cayenne, a quarter teaspoon of ground coriander, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then the recipe calls for a half tablespoon of chili powder. But my family does struggle with heat. So we've already got the cayenne and coriander here in here. I didn't want to add that much chili powder. So I only added 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And then, like I said, 3 tablespoons of ground cumin. So I'll get that in and give that a mix around. With that mixed in, I'm going to add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And the recipe specifically says not to stir this in. So I'm just going to get this added on top. And then I'm going to cook it in my pressure cooker at high heat, high pressure for 20 minutes. It is now 12:20 p.m. So I am ready to have well, it's really my second meal of the day, but I just got done with my first meal. So I made myself some coffee, which I made with 2% for life milk, a cup of it, and a serving of whey isolate protein powder, a serving of collagen peptides, a serving of, which is a tablespoon, of MCT oil. I didn't add any of my sweetener to my coffee today. And then I also had with it a donut. These are from Conscious Comforts. They're gluten-free, sugar-free donuts, so they're made with like almond flour, coconut flour, protein powder, things like that. They're very good. I will link to their website in the description below. And now I'm going to try my chili. So it's a really thick chili, and I like that. I think before I wouldn't have liked it as much, but I like it because like I'm not adding crackers or anything to it that's gonna like soak up any like juices. And I don't like thin soups either. So I think this is great that it's so thick. Yeah, that's good. That's a good chili. Um, not not as spicy as like other chilies I've had, but like just the right amount for me. I'm hoping my family is able to eat it. But the flavor is really nice. Like you can taste the tomato and you can taste the other ingredients, but they all kind of like come together really, really nicely to give it a really good flavor. I like that. I did add a tablespoon of chia seeds to get some more fiber into my meal. And then I'm also going to have with it a bowl of cottage cheese. So this is Good Culture 4% cottage cheese. And I have topped it with some fresh blackberries. It is 3:20 and I am ready for my last meal of the day. So I went to the gym. I did a heavy arm and core day. I was scheduled to do a moderate full body day, but my legs are still really sore from my hip workout, so I decided I wasn't going to do that. For my last meal, I really kind of just want something simple. So I have made myself here basically a protein shake or a protein drink. I made it with a quarter cup of Fairlife whole milk, or not whole, 2% milk, 2% milk, Fairlife 2% milk, and then water is the rest of the liquid. And I use this Fit Crunch Chocolate Deluxe protein powder. It has 120 calories in a serving with 1.5 grams of fat, three carbs with one fiber, so two net carbs and 24 grams of protein. And then I did top it with a little bit of this sugar free Ready Whip just for fun. And then for my food, I have here sauteed up in some butter and salt and pepper, some imitation crab. So, imitation crab is not quote unquote keto friendly because it actually is pretty high in carbs because of the ingredients that they use to make it. It's made with like different fishes, but then it also has like potato starch and cornstarch. It does have some sugar in there. So like it's it's definitely not like clean and it is higher in carbs. I'm actually using this whole package. And I'm going to eat it. So in the container, there's 220 calories with no fat, uh, 39 grams of carbs with one fiber. So it it is high in carbs, and then 16 grams of protein. So like for the amount of protein you get versus the amount of calories that it costs, it's not a great ratio. But I have it. I need to get it used up, so I'm gonna use it. Yeah, that'll be my last meal of the day. Let's take a look at how my day turned out. I changed my mind with things that I did at the gym. I did decide to do a heavy arm and core workout today. So I did a weighted dead bug and I used 10-pound dumbbells to do it. That's the most weight that I've ever done. So that was fantastic. Assisted pull ups, tricep pull downs, a weighted plank, which I've done before, but I've only done 10 pounds and today I did 25. So awesome. I did ab rollouts. So I did straight ab rollouts and then also to both sides and bicep curls. So it was a really nice workout. And then later in the evening, I rode my bike for an hour. That's how I get my cardio in. I need to make sure that I am doing cardio every day or I don't sleep. So I do make sure that they're far apart from each other, my strength training and my cardio, so that I'm not stacking that stress because that's not good for me. But I do make sure that I get some cardio in every day. I ended up with about 1,700 calories. My protein is 172. My net carbs are 66, and my fat is 74. So my deficit is around 300 calories. That is perfect. I know that my carbs are high today. It's because of the imitation crab that I had. I knew that was going to happen. I'm still in a deficit. I feel fine, but it's just fine. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.